Hey, good day. My name is Eldon, and this is a Mountain Bred video. I've pulled up an old blog post from April 21st. This is Mountain Bred number 4, and I'm just going to read it. This is my first take, and I got given some feedback to make this a little bit more personable rather than just simply, blah, here's something that I wrote and hope you enjoy. I actually have not read through all of this yet, so we're going to be doing that together. And what's cool is today is December 19th, I believe, 2025. And, it's a few months that have gone by since the writing of this blog post. So, yeah, I hope you enjoy. Hang around, listen for a little bit and see what I have to say about who I was and who I am now, and what's happened in the time since writing this piece. Anyway, really grateful that you're here. Thanks for tuning in, and just really feeling that presence. These days are still getting shorter, but I think there's a bit more to come. Okay, anyway, without further ado, Mountain Bred 0004. Oftentimes, I have no idea if the days are going by quickly or slowly. When I find myself in the moment, I am fooled to believe that nothing has changed. Yet, when I am gifted opportunities to reflect, I can then see that everything has changed. There was an open mic at the Brackendale Arts Gallery last Thursday. There was a growing excitement to spend time with my artist community and to share some songs that hadn't yet seen the stage. As I did some last-minute practice outside by the train tracks, a man with his dog walked by. As his dog sniffed me out, the man mentioned that what I was playing sounded like Alice in Chains and proceeded to eagerly share his love for music and that he does a weekly jam with a couple of buddies. It's a good old time. We're just there to have fun and have a couple drinks and maybe a couple of joints. My new friend was stoked to share his passion for participating with creation. But what lifted him up more than anything was sharing how his teenage daughter had been playing and performing music herself, and who had recently started journaling. How amazing is it to sense the flow of inspiration from one's being to another, especially father to daughter, or in my case, father to son. I invited my new friend to come check out the awe-inspiring musical and poetic, and sometimes comedic, if I'm feeling the mood to embarrass myself, gathering of Squamish talents and artists. He said he was busy. Either way, my internal fire burned more intensely and more playfully, having made a new connection. Upon returning to the venue, I noticed a soft and internal cheerfulness, for the nerves that used to exist at the forefront of my being felt like nothing more than a simple thought. Earlier that evening, as I left home to head over to the Bag, my lovely and generous landlady gifted me some of the best advice I'd ever received. Play to make yourself smile. If you're making you smile, the people watching the performance will feed off such energy and likely make themselves smile too. This may seem a little random, but hear me out. Recently, in disc golf, I realized that I need to be throwing with some motherfucking mustard. If I'm throwing only to reach my target, I'll be coming up short all of the time. But if I throw with a bit of steez, a bit of spice, a bit of mustard, then it means I'm willing to overthrow my target. In terms of hole-in-ones, if I underthrow, I'll never ace. If I overthrow, however, I'll ace infinitely times more than I would underthrowing. I say this because disc golf isn't the only thing I need to be adding mustard to. I need to add mustard to my music, particularly with my singing. If I'm singing just barely if I'm singing to just barely reach the perfect note, it's not going to sound good and I'll never be confident. But if I'm willing to add some mustard and exceed the perfect note, then I can recalibrate and return to the perfect note. And then I could get to even play with some vibrato. With Mustard, I get to have experimental fun with my voice. As the musicians and poet, yes, singular, shout out Amanda, did their thing, showcasing their own growth through experimentation, my friend showed up behind me. This is the power of inspiration in action. A stranger an hour before, now a cheerful supporter. Wow. A new experience for me at open mics is witnessing other artists grow. It's easy for me to become bitter and judgmental, thinking that so-and-so is just playing the same old song again and again and again. They say if you spot it, you got it. How true, because these are the exact same things I'm judgmental about. And what I've done, playing the same songs over and over and over. So to experience other artists traveling outside of their comfort zones, whether that be playing an original song on the piano instead of the guitar, or performing their poetry while a friend adds some melody on their own guitar, or even to ask the crowd for a sentence and create a song about that on the spot, has become a new joy for me. How beautiful it is to sense the support I have for my community just by simply observing and admiring everyone's continued growth. When I'm bitter and judgmental, it's clear that my own growth has been stunted. Yet even this experience is an important part of the process of art, of creation, of life, especially the recognition of it. And there's a lot of joy to discover at open mics, including the joys of watching artists show up for their first performance, or watching them convey curiosity at shows, asking questions to build up their confidence to perform for the first time, or simply the joy of watching new artists do their thing. Open mics are truly a magical place. Eventually, the 13th spot is called to the stage, and guess who that is? Me. I get up there, tune my guitar, have a little chit-chat with the host and the sound guy, both incredible talents, but more importantly, pioneers of the Squamish performing art scene, and hop up onto the mic. I've been intentional about keeping my pre-song blurbs short so that I can let the music speak for itself. But it is important to part a little bit about where the song came from or how it came to be. I remembered my landlady's advice and remembered to add some motherfucking mustard to 3 songs that never have ever seen this. 3 songs that have never seen a stage. It was probably my best performance yet, but the best part of it all was this seated gentleman in passing said, "You've gotten a lot better since last time." "Ian?" I asked. For a moment, I had no idea who I was talking to. "No, Logan." Holy shit, Logan? This is a guy I met performing at open mics in Whistler over 2 years ago, and it dawned on me, reflecting on how much I've grown in the last 2 years. Logan saw a different artist perform since the last time he saw me. Back then, I was rapping lyrics over a live band and butchering Eye of the Tiger by Survivor at Black's Pub's Bandioki. I wasn't singing, I wasn't playing guitar, yet here I was doing both of those things and more. It's so easy to fool myself to believe that nothing has changed. Yet when I am gifted opportunities to reflect, I see that everything has changed. I love you, and I wish that you too are gifted opportunities to reflect on the growth you've experienced on your journey. Yeah, a lot of reading. That was a big one. I guess in conclusion, yeah, it's really magical to take that time to reflect on how I've been reflecting. You know, what is it in my life that I'm paying attention to, and how is that changing on a day-to-day, month-to-month, year-to-year basis? You know, it's easy to believe that I'm experiencing this very linear path. You know, I'm here right now. You know, you'll see me here right now on the screen at some other time. Maybe you'll watch it a couple of times, but yet here I am right now on the screen. And then in person, you know, I'm still like trotting along. And yeah, I forget that even just yesterday, I made a couple of turns and I had a couple of experiences that just turned the lights on. And it's wild how, and any amount of time, we'll say 3.5 years for me, that the lights can continually be turned on. It's like, how do they, like, are they even really turned off in the first place? And I don't know, but they keep getting turned on somehow. And it is really beautiful to just know that, I'm trudging along and I get to experience like a life that, yeah, I could not have even imagined. And I guess part of Mountain Bred here is just, like my hope is to inspire the person that watches this video to take that time to reflect for themselves and consider the last day, week, month, year, couple years, and just look at all the good that has happened. I know for me personally, and this is why I'm such a big, advocate for this kind of practice, is I have a tendency to focus my awareness on the bad. And I need, obviously, I need to do a lot of work to focus my awareness on the good, right? This was like, we're at 11 and a half minutes in this video, and way more than half of it was reading something I had already written. So it's, yeah, it is work, but like you heard the words that I spoke and the words that I read. That's a whole lot different than not doing anything and just naturally defaulting to, you're a piece of shit, you don't deserve anything. And so this is what it takes. I mean, at least for me, this is what it takes. And I hope some of this, even if it's just one little bit of advice, I don't even want to call it advice, that feels yucky. But if there is one little blurb in here that spoke to you, write about it in the comments below. And I'm wishing you a blessed day. I'll link up my music channel in the bio. And yeah, keep on walking, keep on climbing, because the truth is we can't see the mountain, and we don't know what it's going to be like when we're at the top looking at the climb that we've endured for our lifetimes. Anyway, that's enough blabbing from me. Love you guys. And here's to another beautiful day. Bye.